Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a spectacular scrambled serial number Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona 116509 in white gold with a Grossular dial and gem setting. Now, Grossular is a type of mineral that could be described from an aesthetic sensibility as the red equivalent of sodalite. So it has the underlying color, but then a bewitching marbled effect such that no two cuts of Grossular are ever exactly alike. Now, there are some different color variations of this material. Some are yellow, some are brown, some are green. This one in red, it feels almost like ruby stone, and it is quite fetching. The watch is easily worn. It's not a big watch, though it is a massive one. This Rolex certified pre-owned Cosmograph Daytona, 40 millimeters in diameter. You can see in profile, 12.4 millimeters thick. Lug-to-lug, just the lugs, it's 47.7 millimeters. If we add the end links, this Rolex certified pre-owned watch is a total of 51.7 millimeters across the wrist with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. So we're going to open up the clasp now. We'll throw the watch on my wrist, but maybe before we do so, since technically a metric such as weight may mean something to you if you're buying a solid gold full bracelet watch, take note. An incredible 213 and 16/100ths of a gram. This is immense. If you've got anything over about 120, 130, 140 grams, a watch starts to feel really hefty. And on a bracelet, anything over 200 is quite impressive. In the hand and on the wrist, you will know where the money went. So if you believe a luxury watch should be luxuriously heavy, game on. It's not a huge watch, though. We'll zoom out a little bit, and maybe I'll peel back this Rolex approved glove so that you can actually see my wrist here for a moment. Not a big watch. Men wear the Daytona, women wear the Daytona. It's true that the solid end links do extend it across the wrist, but not excessively so. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. You can see particularly the lugs, if you use those as the reference, well inboard the edge of my wrist to the point that I think even on the bracelet you could wear this on a wrist down to 14 centimeters circumference, and it's flat enough and thin enough that it will easily slip under a cuff. Now, taking a quick look at the condition of the watch, this is white gold, but it's gray gold. Gray gold is a high-grade white gold that is 18 karat white and the same color all the way through. So it never needs to be rhodium plated, and if it's scratched, it's the same color underneath. Rolex has its own foundry, it smelts its own gold, it makes its own cases, bracelets, and clasps, along with dials and movements. This watch is all Rolex, right down to the lubricants used, which are Rolex lubricants. 3-link oyster-style sports bracelet. You can see a conforming end link to mate it to the case, and then it tapers down towards the clasp. Outer faces are polished, the tops are alternately brushed and polished. You can see we have removable links that they are fixed by screws, so if you wish to size this up at home, you can use your jeweler's screwdriver to accomplish that. Now we have a clasp with 2 locking mechanisms. There's this spring-loaded lever action beacon hook, and there's the hook right there, and then you lock it a second time by folding down the clamshell. It's a very robust system, and you can see internally it is nicely decorated with high polish. And then we have Easy Link, which is a 5mm snap-in, snap-out, tool-free, quick adjustment for fine-tuning fit. And if you look inside the clasp, you can see that there are 3 pairs of divots, and you can dismount the spring bar and use your strap tool to move that spring bar back and forth to micro-adjust when it's on your wrist. So you have removable links, you have Easy Link, and then you have the ability to change the anchoring point of the bracelet and the clasp. Now, it is a oyster-style case. We have an oyster case back. We have a trip lock crown, and you know it's a trip lock in gold because it has 3 dots, but the center one is the largest. We also have screw-down chronograph pushers, 100 meters, water-resistant. We'll do a quick loom shot to clarify that, yes, there is some loom on this watch. Likely early scrambled serial number because it features Luminova rather than the roughly 2013 and later Rolex blue chromolite. So if you're trying to get a sense just by looking at this watch, you know it's scrambled serial. So post-2010, but you can also see that it is superluminova as it glows green, so probably pre-2013. Little things you can use to try to date a Rolex in the era when sequential serial numbers are no longer a fact of life. Now we've got a well-preserved bezel. You can see not only is it in good shape and still very sharp on its outer edges all the way around, but the lacquer of the tachymetric scale is still quite distinct and even. Now you use the tack along with the chronograph seconds hand to gauge the speed of something like a car over a racetrack kilometer, and that's generally the distance in the scenario for which the Daytona is intended, named as it is after, well, not so much the city of Daytona Beach in Florida, but the raceway at Daytona. And although most folks probably associate that track, Daytona International Speedway, with the Daytona 500 NASCAR event, technically the Daytona that we're speaking of here is the 24 Hours of Daytona, the annual January contest of production-based and prototype sports racers over a full 24 hours. So that is really the motorsports we're talking about with this watch. Rolex also a prolific sponsor of, for example, the 24 Hours of Le Mans and related events in France. Now we have white gold Rolex crown, indices, and hands, so these elements will never oxidize or tarnish. Getting super close to the Grossular dial, you can see why I describe it as sort of the red counterpart to sodalite. It really does look like a sodalite dial turned red, only comparatively speaking, although not common, you will see a lot more sodalite dials than you will see Grossular dials. The diamonds are set on white gold bases, and you can see we've got no date. That's a traditional feature of the Daytona. We'll screw the crown out, and you can see, although it might be easy to miss, little red Daytona script is actually there. Now you can see we have hacking or stop seconds, so if you want to set the watch to a reference time, you can easily do so. The watch is automatic winding with bidirectional winding action. It has a bidirectional rotor on a ball bearing. This caliber 4130 was the first Rolex movement to use a ball bearing for its winding rotor as opposed to a jeweled staff, at least in the modern era, and that makes it more shock tolerant. It's a 4 Hz beat rate, 44 joules, 72-hour automatic winding power reserve, stop seconds or hacking. It's got a combination of a crisp column wheel function selector, which you feel and hear to excellent effect, but it's also got a vertical clutch, so when you start the chronograph, it starts without any jump or stagger. There's no extraneous motion. That also gives you peace of mind, allowing you to run your chronograph full time if you just like having the center seconds. With a vertical clutch, there's no additional wear and tear. Now, the movement has a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance, which is excellent because it means that you have a great deal of shock resistance inherent in this movement. And then the movement would have been adjusted in 5 positions and certified as a COSC documented Swiss chronometer. And it features a free-sprung balance with microstella adjustment screws, so you move them in and out in pairs to change the polar moment or turning force of the balance. And so not only does that allow for very precise setting by Rolex watchmakers, but it also means that shock or concussion can't change the regulation the way it can with a mobile stud index that can be displaced by shock. That's not a problem here. Also important, we have an overcoil hairspring Breguet profile shaped by hand, so no matter what the position or orientation of the watch, gravity is not going to have a substantial impact on the timing consistency. And then that hairspring is a blue oxidized niobium zirconium that Rolex calls Parachrome Bleu. It is a highly anti-magnetic alloy, meaning this watch is anti-magnetic, shock resistant, and water resistant. All of that plus gray white gold and a Grossular dial with diamonds. And I often find that men are more at peace with diamonds on a watch when the diamonds are inside the watch as opposed to outside the watch. So this really is one for all comers. If you want something absolutely unusual, but you still want Rolex quality, heritage, and engineering integrity, this is a great way to do it because you won't see another one of these. Reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed and authenticated by Rolex. Should any reconditioning be necessary, it will be to a Rolex certified standard, and any parts invested Rolex factory original. Should the initial retail box, paper, and accessory set still accompany the watch, it will be included with the sale. But no matter what, a certified pre-owned box and paper set starts with an outer box, a leatherette travel pouch with suede lining, a warranty card that embodies the 2-year globally valid Rolex-backed warranty. Note this is not a retail retail warranty but backed by Rolex and actionable at any of its authorized points of sales and service. A leatherette wallet includes the warranty terms and conditions manual. A holographic hang tag marks this as a certified pre-owned Rolex watch, and a manual details Rolex's values as a company. The certified pre-owned program, care, feeding, service, and use of your Rolex, locations of points of sales and service, and details of Rolex.com. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed only by Rolex.